Director's log 4. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to my guy Jimenez of the Joke Boys. Giving him a huge shout out. He had me on his platform, interviewed me a little bit. Also just solid guy, always showed love even from the beginning of his career. He's getting bigger now. I see him as the next Mr. Beast, but like on a very like real community level. He definitely deserves your support. He recently retired from doing music videos, which is something that I did similarly some point last year. It's not that I stopped doing music videos, I just sort of reworked how I do them. I've done so many music videos. I've done them for various price ranges. Of course, when you're charging $300 or $500, everyone wants to book you. I know it's a lot of money, especially for, you know, your average person. It is a lot of money, like $300-500. That's a decent chunk of change. Even that is low. That's technically ultra low budget. As I'm doing my research, this is around the time where I'm like, okay, I like doing this. I want to get more serious. I start learning color grading, upgrading my gear, upgrading my computer, you know, actually purchasing DaVinci Resolve Studio, doing everything that I need to do to be considered a serious cinematographer. As you upgrade and you get better, you know, your price goes up. Actually, I'm just gonna look it up right now. Hopefully you guys can see. Maybe not. If someone wants a music video from me, first of all, you can't just get a music video from me. There has to be rapport there. There has to be certain things talked about as far as like creative decisions and other things, just because I've had some nightmares. I've had people literally threaten to come to my house and fight me over, you know, this stuff. And it's like, dude, I'm not a brain surgeon. Like, no one died because your video didn't turn out the way you wanted. If I am interested in working with somebody, usually if I'm that interested, there'll be certain things in place, like it'll probably be on my channel or whatever the case may be. We figure it out how we figure it out, where it makes sense for me. If it is kind of like a transactional thing, if it ends up being that, starting at like $1,500, which it says here, you know, $1,500 is low budget indie project. And that's where I got that number from. I didn't come up with that number out of thin air. And as it says here, mid-range, meaning in the middle, is between $10,000 and $50,000. A lot of artists, they don't do their research. They don't look up these numbers. There's people doing stuff for like $750, right? Or like even $500, and then artists will be like, oh, you're taxing, da, da, da. And it's like, dude, no. First of all, that's below low budget. So anything under $1,500 is ultra low budget. Like, that's our bar. You're coming to this person. You're expecting this person to find locations. You're expecting this person to maybe even find actors. You're expecting this person to come through, have lighting. You're expecting them to shoot. You're expecting them to edit. All of those things are different jobs. Like on these professional sets, the DP is not the director, and neither of those people are the editor. None of those people are the gaffer, the person that does the lights. There's just so much more to it. You know, I've seen artists talking about they want to pay like maybe $150 to $275, and that's like, dude, that's not even worth me putting my camera together. It's more of a liability than it is an asset, especially if we don't have a previous relationship. Obviously, if people have like a creative relationship and they, you know, they kind of have their agreements or just their own, you know, personal what they do, okay, like they do that. But you can't really force that on people. That's also the inspiration for Pedals and Pages. To get on Pedals and Pages, all I want is $150. $150. You get your 3 shots. It's all the same format. It looks fantastic. High quality content piece on your page. And you attach yourself to Team Spice, you know what I'm saying? And myself, you know what I'm saying? I even help promote it for 150 bones. I try to make it as easy as possible. That's still me undercharging for what I give people. It's kind of like an entry price right now, but for Pedals and Pages, that's probably gonna go up in the future. The thing that does bother me about it is just the attitude. 1,500's low budget. There's a ton of people that charge less than that. I see stuff on threads, or I'll just have conversations where people are like, yeah, you know, these photographers and videographers, they're taxing, they're this, they're that, saying that people are taxing, and then when I see their prices, they're actually undercharging. It creates an unnecessary animosity between us media professionals and artists, because there's just this disconnect where we're trying to make things fair and accessible. We try to do that. We get accused of taxing or just like price gouging or something like that, when it's really not the case. To be able to charge what we're worth, when you start putting those numbers on things, you know, it's kind of harder to get certain jobs because it's expensive. It is expensive, you know? A lot of media people do free work just for the opportunity. Work those festivals, or like those guys that have like, yeah, maybe they'll have like a music video with a big artist. A lot of times they were underpaid or didn't get paid at all. A lot of times they did that for the opportunity. I mean, I've done it. Depending on who it is, I would still do it. You know, like, look, if Beyonce wants a video from me, I'm gonna figure it out. It is what it is. Okay? I'm not passing that up. I actually have a couple of videos just in my Dropbox, completely done, you know, with some pretty notable artists, and there was just like communication fallout over not wanting to collab me and the director on a post, or just other small petty things, you know? There's a lot of people, a lot of entities that should be working together that aren't, whether that be for clout reasons or, you know, just petty BS, whatever. It's kind of like the inspiration. That's a big inspiration for Petals and Pages, you know? We're starting small. Like Andre 3000 said, big things start in little rooms. And I try to hold that, close to my spirit. And I'm hoping that I can bridge the gap. I'm not here to call artists brokies or y'all don't know this, y'all don't know that. You know, first of all, most of us is broke out here. You're in great company, right? I think most of all, I just want to bring understanding. We're not trying to undervalue ourselves, but like I said, to me, most of, you know what I'm saying, the media people that I know and people that do great work, they'll cut a little bit just to do the work, just because they want to help, you know? And I just feel like sometimes that can go so underappreciated. Unfortunately, we've all fallen to this social media beast where the beast is never satisfied, right? Social media always needs more and more and more. Because think about it, if you pay hundreds of dollars for one high quality piece of content, that one piece of content is not gonna blow you up. So now you're in the spot where now you want all your content to look like that, but you can't afford to have all your content look like that. Now you're hooked, you know? And I feel like that leads artists to sort of like undervalue or mistreat photographers and videographers. Not really see the true labor that goes into creating these visuals. I don't want this to get too long, and my incense is wearing out. But yes, go to the gym, drink water, love on yourself today.